you were on American Idol.
Yeah.
5 years ago now, right about.
Jeez, yeah.
And you did a catwalk. You went on as a joke, I'm guessing, right? From watching it, I'm guessing you didn't think you were a great singer. That's my guess.
There's a lot of judgment in that question,
I'm
Ralph.
hoping so. I'm hoping so.
What are you fucking talking about?
Yeah, there you go. So how did that come about?
Well, it happened because I have a friend who actually works. I met him in stand-up, and he was in a German boy band, and I bonded with him. You know, we both thought we were both gay and hitting on each other, which is funny because we're two straight guys. But you know, it was cool that way.
Oh, Ralph, deeply understand.
I understand.
You saw him hop out of his chair when that model hit
I'm
the
going to have
screen.
Shannon bring it up again.
That's the guy. Oh, Bronzo.
Yeah, I mean, you even have a song about it called
Bronzo.
Bro Job. That's
Yeah.
Bro job. You went. Oh my god, this is fucking crazy. So, anyways,
He did a song about male models blowing each other called Bro Job.
It's not
Can we-
about.
can
It's
we
not.
play
No. You misunderstood that. It's about bromance. Not blowjob. It's
I know,
bro
bro job.
job.
I
Yeah,
know.
bro job.
I
Yeah,
know. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
purely straight guys sharing love with one another, which is very important. I can get into that. But the American Idol thing happened.
And blowing each other.
And whatever. You know, if it calls for it, sure.
Just a couple of guys hanging out. Nobody knows better than Ralph.
Listen, we're in Europe, so it's not gay, it's European. But
right.
the American Idol thing happened because he was like, hey, you're fun, you should do something, you know, and then I auditioned for them. And I went in with this kind of like a German angle. I sang David Hasselhoff, and they didn't fuck with it, but one of the guys on the production team was a fan of mine, and then he was like, hey, we want to have him come in again. And then I was like, let me do this thing where like, let's just tell my real story. And I was like, listen, guys, I used to be a male model, and nobody takes me seriously for my talents, so I want to prove to the world that I'm a real singer, and I don't want to be objectified anymore. And then I showed up in front of Katy Perry in a Speedo.
Right.
So that was kind of like the idea of like, let's make this a little bit fun, like Zoolander, essentially.
Right,
It's really Zoolander, right?
Yeah.
Like this, the whole thing of like, nobody takes me seriously, and that's what we did. And I honestly went there, had no preparation. They didn't tell me what was going to happen. I came up with an original song, right, which I sang on the show. Nobody said
sang on the show. Okay.
Listen, when you're when you're there in a Speedo, you're focusing so much on flexing your abs and keeping your package nice and fluffy.
Yeah.
So the singing part was just like, I should have focused.
At that
more
point,
on
you were already post-circumcised, right?
That was post-circumcision, yeah. Maybe with the foreskin would have gone better.
Felt a little bit better. Maybe you would have been on the show.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then also technically,
Ralph is the perfect guy to conduct this interview. No, that's great.
technically, you challenged Katy Perry to a walk-off, I guess is the term. I don't know if that's the right term.
Yeah, catwalk battle.
Catwalk battle. And she said if you won,
Yeah.
she would give you the golden ticket to go, and you clearly won.
I won. I think so. It's fake news. It's
you should've-
election
should've.
fraud.
Yeah, and then they didn't even address it after.
No, they didn't.
It never came up again.
To be fair, the whole interview, I was in there, and again, this was not prepared. I didn't know I was going to do a catwalk thing with her. This is just like in the moment improv, and she was very fun. I thought they were going to be put off by it, but they all loved it, especially Luke Bryan. He was almost as turned on as you.
Not possible.
Yes. Oh, that's not possible. No, he was second place.
He did an insane catwalk. He walked like this.
He walked like a
really?
duck. Yeah.
But that took, all kidding aside, that takes, courage to go and do that.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Like
that
as a
was
spoof,
That's one of my favorite, and that was one of my favorite moments I've done in my career because it was
Yeah.
like I just went in there in front of these like A-list
That's
people.
a ballsy move, man.
And just had fun, right? And that was
great.
basically, and that's also kind of before I started stand-up. I mean, I was
Right.
just on the big. I had done one open mic at that point, then COVID happened, right? So it was like that's when I was like, wow, this is live. Feeding off each other, improv, which also leads into crowd work, stuff like that, is really fun, and that's when I felt the love for it. And then also like I was in there for 40 minutes, by the way. But they only cut it up into 10 into that, So we discussed a little bit about the, getting me a golden ticket. But my singing is truly, and I know you're probably not joking, but my singing is not great. Okay.
Yeah, was not joking.
Yeah, it was not. Yeah, so didn't get a golden
It also
ticket,
takes balls to sing.
Every
when you
part of
know
that.
you're bad and in underwear, like
Every part of that
yeah, it's
takes
wildly vulnerable to
Very.
be in that. So that's what made you likable. Because
Yeah.
before that you weren't likable. And did you see an explosion on your YouTube after that?
Not at all. That's the funny thing. And that's why I was like, it doesn't even matter if I get a golden ticket or not, because TV in that sense is not as powerful as it used to be.
Right.
And that's what I had a realization about, because when I did it, I was like, oh my God, this could be crazy, because obviously
Yes.
it's a big moment. I
Right.
knew they were going to air it. I mean, when I walked out of there, they did 100 post interviews, because most people go in there, don't ever air. You know,
Right,
like
of
American
course.
Idol, like
I'm
most
sure,
people,
yeah.
they're just like good.
Yeah.
Speaking of the 1%, it's probably that there
Exactly.
too.
You got to
Yeah.
be like either funny or really good or just emotional or something. If you're just okay, it's like whatever, right? So walked out of there. When it aired, I thought it was going to be this big, you know, surge of followers.
Yeah.
I got like 2,000 Instagram followers when it aired.
And that's it?
And that's it.
Wow.
Because the demographic of American Idol is also not necessarily on Instagram, right? They're older
Of
housewives
course.
in Wisconsin.
But it's where television is now. I've done the Tonight Show several times, and some of the sets were really good. And back in the day, you would have been able to sell tickets based off of an appearance like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's just
I've been on Catch a Predator like 6 times. Hasn't really done much for them.
yeah.
Well, but like, you know, it's more of like an industry recognition thing, right? You get like clout, I guess, from like the Tonight Show or
Yeah, it's a
something
credit.
like that.
Like,
But
it's a credit.
It's a credit,
it's a credit, and it's a meaningful credit. But
Sure,
you're right. Your observation is right. I'm older than you, obviously.
Yeah.
But
Obvious.
right before my time, I'm 130 years old. Right before my time, you know, that television was very meaningful, and now it's altered. The landscape's been altered.
100%. And what happened with the American Idol thing was interesting. It did nothing to me when it aired on television. But then at some point I was like, you know what? I should put these out. So I cut them up into clips.
Right.
Put one of them on my YouTube. And the one clip with the Catwalk battle, that one alone got 70 million on, on YouTube. So that is...
But you made that happen.
And
which
12 of those guys were straight.
Yeah. And I was saying 1 million of the views was Ralph.